Welcome to the Nate and Steph podcast, episode 4, I think.
4? Yeah.
4? Have we stuck to something for 4 episodes? Are you kidding me right now? That's weird.
That is weird.
We have a huge fear of commitment.
Yeah.
And so doing 4 things in a row is difficult for us. Drink of the day is...
All of these.
So
things.
we have, if you're listening and not watching on YouTube, we have 3 crowlers of beer, which is like which is basically like 2 pints full of like a can that's like 2 pints large, 2 pints big, 2 pint units.
2 pint units.
Yep. And they are from Camber Brewing Company. They're in Fraser, Colorado. And that's a local brewery here to us. We go probably more often than we should. And it's really good. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it right now. If you're listening to it, so they have trail maps of Winter Park Ski Resort just on the cans. And it's super dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you can get all 3 of them, and it's a little collector item. So
yeah.
it's
So we're not
super
going to
neat.
be drinking all 3 of
No,
these
we're
today.
probably not going to drink all 3 of them tonight.
Probably, definitely.
But we have a Standarsh Belgian Strong. That's a brown.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. We've got the Camber Amber. And then, I don't know what the cream ale is called.
I don't remember what they called it. It's a cream ale, though.
But it's a cream ale.
Yep. I think we're not going to drink this Belgian Strong tonight.
Yeah.
It's like a 9.5% beer.
Ooh.
So I think
No, thank you.
we've already had a bit today because it is Stephanie's birthday. Happy birthday
Please don't
from
sing to
all
me.
of us to you.
Thanks.
It's my condensed version.
Okay, thank you. I really didn't want the whole song.
No, I didn't want to sing the whole song. So let's pour one of these out for the homies. Which one do you want? The Camber Amber or the
The
Cream
Camber
Ale?
Amber, please.
Okay. These huge
Okay.
monstrosities of a can. Beer can AMSR.
ASMR.
That was a good one. I can't take myself seriously when I'm trying to pour that like that. And I spilled some on the table. That's good. So, Stephanie, all day today, since it's her birthday. So, Stephanie's super weird. And she has this like
Thanks,
she
Nate.
has this like thing with birthdays, right? And she's been like all day, she's like, birthdays are so strange.
Birthdays are weird. Like, if you really think about it, birthdays are really weird. Like, why do we pick one day of the year to tell somebody to have, like, a happy day and, like, to congratulate them on being born, I guess. Like, I wasn't involved in that decision, and I was kind of brought here.
I was forced into this.
I was definitely forced into this. So yeah, birthdays are just so weird. And like, again, like why do we pick one day of the year to tell somebody to have like a happy day? Like, why not have a happy day all the time? And it's also just weird that like random people that say happy birthday to you, especially like with social media and stuff like that, like people that I've never met or haven't spoken to in 10 years, but still...
Or don't even fucking like.
Definitely people that I don't like. But, yeah, message me and say happy birthday. And it's like, thanks, I guess. Like,
What-
you don't like me any other day of the year. Why do you like me today?
What was that one that you got?
I don't know.
You know.
No. I'm not going to say it. Not going to call somebody out. But it's just, I don't know. People are just weird. I just feel like birthdays are weird. I think a lot of celebrations are weird, to be honest.
We saw this thing on TikTok, and it was it was around New Year's, and the whole premise behind it was like the action was it's like Earth completes 1 year around, or I'm sorry, the Earth completes 1 revolution around the sun, and the entire population of the world is like, yay. It's like, well, when you put it like that, that is pretty strange that we celebrate that.
Yeah, I think we celebrate some weird stuff in general, but you know,
We need to have a podcast that's like unpopular opinions.
isn't that what this is?
Fucking pretty much, in all honesty. So,
Okay, I'm getting tired of waiting for you to pour my
Yeah,
beer. You're
I
so
don't think-
bad at pouring beers.
I'm awful at this. I would make a terrible bartender.
Yeah.
So cheers to you
Cheers.
and happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I did nothing for this, but I will take it. Alrighty.
Oh, I'm glad that we got that. That's good.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
We were at the brewery and Stephanie's like, we were at the brewery and Stephanie's like, we should get a crowler of that for the podcast. And I was like, we should get 3. And
If you're gonna get one, may as well get 3.
and
According to Nate.
one of the guys that was sitting in the bar with us, he's like, do you guys have a beer podcast? And we're like, well, not really. Like, we have a podcast where we talk about random bullshit and we drink beer. He's like, that sounds like a beer podcast. I was like, okay, that sounds.
So apparently we have a beer podcast, and I mean, judging from the amount of beer that's right here, it looks like a
in
beer
front.
podcast.
Yeah, it does look. It looks
so
like a frat party up in here. So
does.
sorry,
It's kind of a
but
mess.
we're gonna advertise Camber Brewing on the YouTube
There you
channel.
go.
Let's see how do we get those.
Shout
up
them
there.
out.
They're awesome. Super small place. Okay,
Super good place, though.
How was your week?
My week was really good. It was pretty crazy. Yeah, I am still in the hiring process, and we did some video interviews this week. We're gonna continue them next week, but I'll be out in DC next week for a couple of days, so that's gonna put the hiring process on hold. But yeah, other than that, that seems to be kind of consuming my life right now is
Interviews.
like, interviews, yeah, just trying to get a good person. It's amazing to me the number of people that don't show up to an interview or don't ever respond. Like, why apply for a job if you're not going to respond? Or
So strange, right?
why would you schedule an interview if you're not going to? Especially like a phone or a video interview. You don't have to go anywhere.
Or
A
like,
phone interview, just answer your phone. That's all. That's all you have to do. But we would be surprised at how many people that I've scheduled a phone interview with. I've called them. I don't leave it to them to call me. I need to have this in my control.
yeah.
But I call them and they don't answer, and then they never call me back. I'm like, what happened? Did you fall off of the face of the earth? Like, if you're not interested in a job, that's cool. Like, just tell me.
Shoot me an email and let me know.
Don't make me waste my time. I really hate wasting my time. That's like the worst thing in the world for me.
I think one of the funny things is like, just setting up the interviews and having the interviews is a little bit of a gatekeeper qualifier for a lot of specifically remote jobs.
Specifically remote, yeah. If you
'Cause-
can't figure out Zoom, sorry.
Yeah, Stephanie's been doing all of the interviews via like Zoom conference, and the amount of people that like, I mean, like if you're not in the remote working industry or like you have no reason to video conference, like I'm not like calling you out, like you don't need to know Zoom if you don't need to know Zoom, then you don't need to know Zoom. But
For sure.
for those of us who are like doing like video conferencing and stuff like that on the regular, like that's a thing you need to know how to do. And so like if you have a potential employer that's like, okay, this is going to be a Zoom conference, here's the link, here's when you log in. Like, man, that sets quite the precedence if you don't like
Figure it out.
take the time to like log in and like do a test with a friend and like see like how this whole thing works out. And like I don't know, that's kind of mind-boggling to me. I got to do a mock interview with you.
Yeah, that
And-
was great.
And she threatened to hire me. Like fuck that.
Yeah, I was gonna hire you until you pulled the old what's your favorite accounting software, and you said what Signature Care.
So
Signature Care was his favorite accounting software. For those of you who don't know, that's just like a store brand from Kroger.
it was
It's like the equivalent of Great Value.
So she had all these interview questions, and I was going through and I was answering them the best I can. Most of the interview questions were like, is like there's like this question's about integrity. This question is a question about teamwork. This question is a question about work ethic. And it got to, and it's like, I can do all those. Like, that's fine. Like, I actually helped train some people whenever I was on the fire department to go through the interview panel process and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, in college, I took a fire instructor course. And so it's like, I'm a certified fire instructor. And so it's like, I know what I'm doing in that regard.
Yeah.
But then one of the questions that they asked was, it was like, what's your favorite accounting software? And it's like the only accounting software it's like I know is like,
I think it was what's your experience with accounting software?
Experience with accounting software. And it's like, obviously it's a mock interview, so it doesn't matter. So I was like, yeah, it's like, I enjoy QuickBooks and I enjoy, Zillow is really, really helpful. And I'm pretty good with Redfin. That's another one that's also pretty good. And then like, one of our coworkers asked me like, it was something like, what was it? It was like, what's your favorite to work with? And I was like, probably Signature Cares. I was like looking around the room trying to just get an idea of something because I was drawing a blank. And there was a bottle of ibuprofen sitting on the table. And because we're apparently old at this point, we eat ibuprofen every day.
Yeah,
but
I just took some, honestly.
And so it was like Signature Care brand. I was like, Signature Care is probably my favorite accounting software.
I died laughing.
Yeah, Stephanie couldn't hold it together.
I actually had to mute myself for a moment while I recomposed myself.
We were trying to take this like super seriously and stuff like that.
Yeah. That was the only time though that
I won.
You won. You did. I didn't know that was a competition. But,
everything's a competition.
That's true. Good point. But yeah, the rest of it was really good. I really appreciated you doing that mock interview.
It was fun.
None of us on the team had ever done a panel interview, so we wanted to get our flow down of like who was going to ask what question and in what order, and like if there was an awkward silence or like if somebody forgot that it was their turn to talk, like how are we going to handle that? So it was good practice. I think honestly, like that first day, I think all of us were more nervous than the candidates. Well, one candidate didn't show up, so she clearly wasn't nervous. She couldn't figure out Zoom to the point that she like just didn't show up at all.
Didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that's pretty much been my life. What's going on with? How's your week been?
This week was good. It was pretty busy, I guess, but it was more so like just found out a lot of stuff that's going to be happening out throughout the year. I got an email from a guy named Andy Rawls. He runs a woodworking YouTube channel. It's got like something crazy, like 500,000 subscribers or something like that. And he's redoing an Airstream, and he reached out to me to kind of do a collaborative video on the solar and electrical portion of that video. And he lives in Texas, and I'm going to be flying to Texas in probably May to go and basically help him install electrical and solar on his camper. Do a big tutorial and all that kind of stuff. So super looking forward to that. That's something I've been really, really wanting to do on the Explorers Life channel, is more like it's not case study. That's such a weird word. More like
installs.
Like install tutorials and stuff like that. That's something I hope to be ramping up in the future. We finalized a trip to Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's going to be in August, I think. August? Yeah, August. We're going there. There's a big event with Victron Energy, one of the sponsors of the Explorers Life channel. And so we're going out there for that. And we're spending like 3 days in Amsterdam. And then we're going to spend like probably another week in the area. We haven't quite finalized like exactly where we're going to go after that. So if anybody listening like has recommendations, let us know.
All ears.
That's for the most part it. Like there's some other stuff going on with Explorers Life, but ultimately I don't want to try to explain it all right now because there's a lot to it and it's kind of confusing even to me at this point. I don't know what I'm doing. Basically.
Yep, pretty much. That's our lives. Like, yeah, there's just so many times where we end the day with, what am I doing?
What am I doing?
What am I doing with my life? Yeah, but It's been good. Yeah, it was a hectic week, to be honest, but it was good.
Your birthday today, and then we leave out of here super early tomorrow morning. I'm going to drive you to the airport
Yeah.
because you fly out.
Yeah, I fly out tomorrow to go to DC. I'll be in DC Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Fly out super early on Wednesday. Get back here and continue the interviews.
More interviews.
More interviews. Yeah.
Nice.
I've got one lined out for Wednesday afternoon. I think I'm going to try to schedule one more. So we can do 2 on Wednesday. And I hope I can make a decision by Friday.
Get that over with.
Get that over with. Yeah, because we'll be hiring again soon for an assistant, for an executive assistant. So that's, yeah, I want to get one over with so I can start on the other. Yay.
I'm kind of enjoying this part of the podcast. Like the first podcast, like we jumped immediately into the actual topic. And I kind of like being able to bullshit around for the first 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, I hope you guys like that too.
I'm starting to get more comfortable with this. Like, I don't know. Like you get, I don't know. As many videos as we've been on, and you still get nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I still get nervous.
Yeah, this is not as nerve-wracking, though. Like, I don't feel like I need to say something specific or, like, I don't need to be scripted. Yeah. That's what I like about this. I just realized I have my buff still on.
It's very cute.
It is very cute.
I thought it was on purpose.
No. I just forgot to take it off. We just got back from skiing.
We just got back from skiing. It was really going for it today.
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to snow.
No,
it was supposed to snow yesterday. I think the storm was a day late.
Yeah. We were supposed to get like an inch, and like we had about 4 inches by noon.
Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, we weren't planning on going like immediately. We were planning on getting up, like kind of moseying about, going for brunch.
We did do all of that.
We did do all of that, but Nate was like, if we leave here by like 1 or so, and when we got back from brunch, I was like, could we just go, please? Because it's kind of nuking.
Because it's coming down.
Yeah. So it was good. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was super, super good.
So what's our topic for today?
Topic for today is covering YouTube comments that we've got over the years. Weird comments, funny comments, hateful comments. Good comments, we'll sprinkle a few of those in there. It kind of sucks though, because it's like good comments aren't necessarily funny. It's like oh, that's nice, and then like you move on. But some of the other comments are more entertaining.
The more memorable ones are usually the mean ones or the just like out there ones. But
so last night we sat down and we came up with a list of like ones that we could remember, and like occasionally I screenshot specific comments and stuff like that, and so I went through all my screenshots. Man, I have some gems in my screenshots. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's like, we don't interact with mean comments on YouTube. Like it's just an immediate like delete and move on.
Yeah, but occasionally we'll screenshot them before we delete them because some of them are just like
I don't have time. Like if I tried to interact with the mean comments, like I would have no time to interact with the people who are actually genuinely like wanting our help.
Right. And those are the people that we want to interact with.
And that's the people that we want to. Yeah,
we appreciate those people.
Yeah, we appreciate those.
But occasionally it is pretty funny.
Yeah, but the other side is occasionally pretty funny. So we have, how many do you have? I only came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, I think.
I have 6. Well, kind of 7. 2 of them are really good comments, though.
Good comments, helpful, like nice,
wholesome comments.
Ooh, wholesome. Okay, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it all the way back to that very first video of ours that went viral and made it to the front page of Reddit and crashed our website. That's where we're gonna start, because I mean that's where everything really started taking off. That's where our channel started growing. Yep. And with growth, you typically, and with growth and with a viral video, you do end up with all of the comments. And I scrolled all the way back to mine and my sister's conversation while that was going on. Like while our website was down, it crashed our website. We had never had that much traffic in our.
Well, I submitted the the video to, or the basically like the overarching like like the index of the tutorials and stuff like that to Reddit, the DIY subreddit, and it got to the, I think it got to the like the top of the front page of Reddit.
Yeah.
So in which that when that happens, you get, I mean, fucking, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of like hits at a time, and like
we don't even know because our site crashed because of it. We were with a different web host at that point, and they couldn't handle the traffic. I think at first they thought it was an attack, and then and then they just couldn't handle the traffic, and so we ended up switching web hosts like that night, and it was an ordeal.
Or a fucking ordeal.
Yeah, it was an ordeal. But yeah, I managed to scroll all the way back to mine and Jennifer's conversation while that was going on. And like, we were in Ottawa at the time. Like my comments were talking about like playing with Grace, which is a friend of ours' daughter. And yeah, so some of the comments on that, the first one was always the trust fund comment of, clearly we have a trust fund if we were able to build this van and travel. So, and mind you guys, like this van, we published all of this, that it cost us less than $40,000 to.
I mean, it was right at 40,000. Like,
yeah.
$40,000 for the entire build.
It was $38,900.
Yeah.
For the entire build, including the purchase of the van. It was a 2007 Dodge Sprinter. It is. I'm not saying that.
It
still is.
So that, yeah, it's like, it was really like, it's kind of this like interesting thing when, yeah, because we got accused of like having a trust fund is like, oh, it must be nice to have that much money. And it's like guys, this is a $40,000 vehicle. Like, that's like, that is pretty nice. And like, you do have to like have, but like you can acquire that with like a pretty like normal job, like for the most part.
Yeah, nobody, and the weird thing to me was nobody batted an eye when nobody batted an eye when we bought a house in Denver for $300,000, but all of a sudden when we spent $40,000, we rented our house out and bought a $40,000 vehicle. Then everybody was like,
shit.
What?
Well, it's like we had, whenever
we also sold that was the only vehicle we owned at that point. If you consider like when we did live in Denver and we owned a Crosstrek and your truck, like those two vehicles together were worth much more than $40,000.
Yeah, I mean, your Crosstrek, it cost like $22,000 or something like that. And it's like my truck was like, it was like probably 33.
Your truck was pretty close to the cost of the van, but I mean, no one batted an eye at that.
Yeah, it's like the truck that I was driving before we bought the van, and my truck was not something that we could live out of. It was a 4-wheel drive truck, but it was a single cab, short bed. It was a Z71, so it had the upgraded off-road package on it, but like it wasn't fancy. Like, I mean, it didn't have. It didn't have heated. It had like manual seats, I think. Like, I don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it had electric.
Yeah, cloth interior. Like,
it had electric windows. Can you get manual windows anymore?
I don't think you can.
Okay,
but I don't know. Maybe you can.
But yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what it had, and it didn't have any like the fancy stuff. It didn't have like built-in GPS or anything like that. It was like, I mean, trucks are expensive, and so it was like that truck was almost as much as like what we spent on the van. And then it's like the trust fund part of it, and it's like that. That's one of the part that's like funny. It's like my dad was a firefighter. He worked on his days off at a heat and air shop. He did like general construction work and stuff like that. My mom, she was for the most part stay-at-home mom. She helped out as kind of a secretary at my uncle's heating and air shop for whenever he needed it and that kind of stuff. And
my mom was an aircraft mechanic, and my dad is a fire alarm technician.
Yeah.
So
grandparents, my
grandparents were both teachers.
My grandparents, one worked for the city of Blanchard, drove tractors, stuff like that. I got a few
I
farmers.
said both teachers. Sorry. I just
What?
realized that I said my grandparents were both teachers. I should have 4 grandparents though.
Yes. Yeah.
My other grandparents are military.
Military. Yeah.
Career military. Yeah.
My grandpa on my dad's side, he was a truck driver. So it's like we come from a long line of blue collar workers,
For sure.
basically. And so it's yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even
I'm
know.
still looking for this trust fund. I'm still trying to figure out where it is.
I don't even
and
know what a
how we
trust
can
fund
access
is,
it.
nor how to acquire said trust fund.
But
Okay.
but that actually leads me into the next comment that on that same Reddit thread, there was this one dude that was just adamant that I was not an accountant. And so, like, obviously the trust fund comments started, and one person piped up and was like, I'm pretty sure they said they were an accountant and a firefighter. That doesn't sound like trust fund jobs to me. And this one particular guy came back and said, he said, oh, she's not an accountant. She's a financial consultant. And multiple people, I mean, this went back and forth several comments
between total strangers.
Between total strangers that somebody was defending us and somebody was just adamant that I was not an accountant. And so I was monitoring some of the comments, and I went on there and I was like, no, I mean, I can testify like I'm an accountant, got an accounting degree. I can show you the degree if you want it. Like,
You're like, here's my degree.
Hi, I'm an accountant.
It says accounting right there.
Yeah. So, but that's such a common misnomer in my career that there's a difference between a CPA and an accountant. Every CPA is an accountant, but not every accountant is a CPA. They're different things, but I have a degree in accounting. I have a master's degree, master's of business administration in accounting. I am an accountant. I mean, that's what I do. I'm just not a certified public accountant, which is what a CPA is.
It's a different branch. You have to go down a different road.
Yeah, that's a different branch. It's not something that I wanted to do.
Well, once you get your, and I think a lot, I don't know, from an outsider point looking in, it seems like a lot of people are like, oh, you're not a CPA. And it's like, well, no, it's like you corner yourself into a specific thing once you get that CPA, designation behind your name. And it's like, that's kind of like what you do. Stephanie would, in your position right now, you would hire a CPA.
Yeah, absolutely.
To hand off work too. So you could be a CPA's boss.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've worked on multiple, so many clients in the past where I'm cleaning up CPA's mistakes. And not to offend any CPAs out there, there are good ones and there are bad ones. Just like there are good everything and there are bad everything in any trade, any job, any career. But having a CPA designation doesn't necessarily mean that you are better or worse in any regard. It's just a different path. I went down the consulting path. That's why I chose to get an MBA instead of a CPA, because I wanted to be a consultant. If you remember back when I was still working in a tax firm in Oklahoma, I made that very conscious choice of I enjoyed the consulting. After tax season was over, I went into consulting, and I enjoyed that way more than the tax. So I knew from the very get-go that I did not want to be doing tax for the rest of my life, which is why I didn't get a CPA. I went for the MBA. But yeah, and like you said, I at this point in my life, I've been considering getting either going down the CPA route or an EA route, which is EA is an enrolled agent, which is another type of designation for tax specific. But I just don't have time. Yeah. All of my clients need me so much more doing the stuff that the CPAs can't do.
There's only so much of you to go around.
There's only so much of me to go around. So I think I've kind of given up on that that particular.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I mean, you never know what I'm going to do next month. But
Tomorrow?
true. I do have a flight tomorrow. Maybe I can finish the book tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah. So that guy that was very adamant that I was not an accountant. In case you're listening, buddy, I am an accountant.
Fucking buddy. So whenever that happened, this is like I'm gonna take over because I wrote down something. So we're not just like trying to like roast everybody. Like we had some like good stuff. We've had some good stuff happen over the years for sure. One of the things that happened whenever like our website went down, and people couldn't access the video and the tutorials and all that kind of stuff. Like we legitimately had people contact our hosting company and try to pay to upgrade our hosting to
I forgot about that.
like a higher level,
gosh.
just to fucking help us out, which was like we
super sweet of that guy, but I think it was multiple people that tried it.
It was like multiple people, and I was like, we're trying, like
like it's not the money.
Yeah,
It's literally our hosting. We just never thought that we would have this kind of traffic.
Yeah, we were on a shared hosting account rather than I don't remember what the term is, but like where you can basically scale it to infinity. There was like a hard cap, and like no amount of money would have allowed us to scale to the amount of bandwidth that was required for a front page Reddit post.
That quickly.
That quickly.
We had to migrate it, and it took like 48 hours or something.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
a 48 hours thing. And if you get to the front page of Reddit, like that's it gets up there and it like stays for like a day and then it's over for the most part. And so, but it was like super crazy that like people were like willing to pay for it. Like, I mean, we were willing to pay for it too. Like we had the money. It's like we weren't like hard up for money or anything like that.
Right, because we had a trust fund.
Yeah, exactly. We were just going to dip into our trust fund a little bit and like fucking good to go. So that was one of the things I had written down as like a positive like thing over the years.
That was pretty cool. Like, the generosity of people and just honestly the curiosity of people and just willing to pay to satisfy their own curiosity. And that was pretty cool.
That was pretty neat.
I think that was all I had on that specific Reddit thread.
Yeah,
but if you have anything,
no.
The other thing that, I mean, it started in the Reddit thread, but it's gone forever because, I mean, like we are a married couple, and I am a woman, and I am, what's the word? People talk about my body all the time.
Oh, you're fucking beautiful.
That's not what I meant.
Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
No, but the body comments, like, it blows my mind.
Wow, that was loud.
That was.
Sorry, guys.
It blows my mind the number of comments that we get all the time, and it's never stopped. I mean, this has been ongoing since we started. Mm-hmm. But the comments about my appearance, my body, and in general, and what I'm wearing, how I look, like if I look like people will specifically call me out if I look like I've gained weight, or if I look like I've lost weight, or if I look like I haven't dyed my hair in a while, or if I haven't put makeup on. Like, it's so weird to me how much people focus on my appearance. Mm-hmm. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think in the history of our YouTube, we've gotten like maybe 5 comments on your appearance.
People don't like my fucking haircut.
People really don't like your haircut.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Like,
yeah. And then we had that one guy just recently, actually, that commented on your weight, and that was weird.
My weight? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, well, I think you've got it actually written down there. It was the same guy that said, "Where's that blonde lady?" It said,
Was that the same guy?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he also said, looks like you've lost weight. And what happened to that blonde lady that used to be in your videos?
Oh,
What the hell, guys?
we'll get to that in just a second.
I don't know. I kind of want to get to that right now.
Okay, all right.
'Cause-
That was a good segue. No, we had a comment. It was like, this is like super recent. I need to circle back around to something in just a second, so we'll get back to that.
Okay.
But we had a comment like super recently. Yeah, Stephanie, how did that go? You just worded it perfectly.
Yeah, he said, you've lost a lot of weight, and what happened to that blonde lady that used to be in your videos?
What happened to that blonde lady?
Clearly, you've watched a lot of our videos. Nate's response to that was, "Nope, I'm about the same weight, just a different lens." And Stephanie's been that quote unquote that blonde lady has been in the last 3 or 4 videos. So don't know what you're talking about.
Don't know what you're talking about. Well, it was like one of those things, and that's like I didn't write that one down, but that's something that's like been like super interesting over the years. Is like whenever somebody comments on a video and they're like, let's see, how do they word that? It's something along the lines of like, they comment on the video and say, these people need to blah, 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 blah. It's like they're not commenting. It's like they're commenting. Yeah, it's like they're commenting on like a fucking like Marvel video or something like that.
They don't realize that we actually read.
It's like, no, it's like, hi, Nate here, like responding to your comment. Like, it's me. Like, you don't have to say like these people. It's like you can say like, Nate, hey, like I have a question, or hey, I have a comment, like that kind of thing. That's super strange to me. Where it's not TV, it's not a movie.
Yeah, that is strange because it is. Yeah, it is interactive, and anybody that watches our videos. At this point, your videos, because that blonde lady is no longer in most of your videos, but. Like anybody that watches them and reads the comments on a regular basis should realize that you respond to the majority of them. Yeah. You respond to, I mean, we read all of them. I say we.
Stephanie turned off her
anymore.
Turned off her notifications.
I couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah. Too many comments about my body and yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, we read every single one of them and I respond to, yeah, pretty much every single one of them. Every single question, like every comment will get like a heart or like a thumbs up or something like that. But just because it's like it's got to a point where there's too many of them, I can't like give a well thought out like reply to all of them. But oh fuck, where was I going with that?
I don't know. What do you got written down over there?
All right, so we're just gonna write. This one's actually like pretty similar. When people, so we have one comment. It was like, dear Nate, it didn't say dear. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna read it how it was. Nate and Steven, how about a yard sale to minimize things? Like,
I feel like that was probably a typo, like an autocorrect.
Probably so, but it's still funny.
That is pretty funny.
Nate and Steven.
But
that's going to bring you to another one. Like I know you've got written down.
Oh, yeah. So this one was actually an interview. This was a published article on a different website that someone didn't. And I'm going to put this in quotes because journalist.
Loosely
did an article over us, essentially wanted to capitalize on that viral video, and did an interview about us and like what we're doing and stuff. And once she published the article, it said Stephanie and her husband Jim. And I mean, that's not the only thing that was wrong with the article. There were all kinds of incorrect facts that she just made up, flat out made up. But Nate and Stephanie and Jim. And so I emailed her and I was like, hey, my husband's name is not Jim, it's Nate. And we talked about this and also like journalism, like maybe do some research. And she was like, oh no, it says on your website that his name is Jim. I'm like,
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Why are you arguing with me about my husband's name? I'm pretty sure I know it. Like, Are you Jim? Have you been Jim this whole time? And
Like,
I've just
if I
been
was-
calling you Nate?
So I've pretty much been, for the most part, in charge of the website the entire time we've been doing this. And like, if I was going to put a different name for myself, it would be fucking Jim.
It would be
Like,
Jim.
it would be a way more interesting name.
Yeah.
Like Star-Lord. Like that would be way better.
Yeah, Jim.
Jim? No, fuck that. Like, I mean, no offense to anybody who's named Jim, but like, that's not what I'm like changing my name to.
Yeah, like if you're gonna change your name, like make it cool. But that was so strange. It was so strange to me.
So funny.
And like I said, it wasn't just that. It was there were several things wrong with that article. That I use that word loosely. Article. But yeah, she argued with me. I couldn't believe that she argued with me. I was like, sweetheart, I know what my husband's name is, and it's not Jim. But so that also segues into this actually was before we were on YouTube. I'm not going to say famous because we were definitely not famous. Before we had any kind of presence on social media, when we first got married, we got a gift from someone. I have no clue who this was. I have no idea.
Or like wedding reception.
At our wedding reception. So we got married in the Cayman Islands. It was a very small ceremony, just very close to friends and family.
It's like 12 people kind of thing.
Yeah. But when we came back to Oklahoma, we were living in Oklahoma at the time, and all of our family is, most of our family is from Oklahoma. We had a reception. And we were opening presents, and we got this one that was addressed to Nate and Stacy. And I have no idea who it was from. I have no idea. They didn't put their name on it.
Stephanie was all worked up about it. It's like Nate.
Of course. I mean, at the time I was we got married when I was 21, 22 years old.
Stephanie,
of course I was worked up about it.
Stephanie was worked up about this so and so doesn't know who you're married to, and like my name is Stephanie, and like all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, like who is this person? Like, so she showed me like the
card.
Yeah, the card thing, and it was like, second grade aunt so and so, and I was like, fuck, I don't know who this is either, Steph. Like, so I wouldn't even worry about it.
But it's so weird.
Like, obviously they were there, but like I have a
going back to weird things, like. I mean, my birthday and being talking about like weird celebrations and stuff. That's another weird thing. Why do you come to somebody's wedding if you don't know who they are?
Yeah, so strange. Like, if you don't care about us, like, don't care about us. Like, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt my feelings if you call me by the wrong name.
Right.
Like, really not hurt my feelings because I don't have a whole lot of feelings left. But, like,
if that had happened at this point, it would have been. Well, I mean, I am laughing about it still, but yeah, at 22 years old, I was a little upset. But also, so on the funny note of that, we got married. We got married in the Cayman Islands. We went on a cruise. Mm-hmm. So it was a cruise, and it stopped in the Cayman Islands. We got married while in the Cayman Islands, and when we got back on board the ship, we had a reception on the ship just for those people who came on the cruise with us. Excuse me. But I think it was my mother and your mother ordered a cake for us for our reception. And it was so cute. But it said Nathan and Stephane. Stephane. I wrote it down.
Stephane.
Exactly how it was. Stephane. But it was so adorable.
Nathan and Stephane.
Nathan and Stephane. I'm pretty sure we've got a picture of it somewhere.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And that was a funny one, but no one can ever get my name right. It's Stephanie. Stephanie.
So weird. You have a
I spelled it for the banker the other day while I was opening up a new bank account. Right. While she literally had my ID in front of her, I still spelled it for her. I was like, I'm sorry, everybody gets it wrong.
Fuck this up. It's like, I understand, misspelling Yarborough. Like,
Yeah.
Stephanie is like pretty common. Like, I mean, sure, there's a few different spellings of it, but it's like.
But Stephane is not one of them.
Stephane is not one of them. That was pretty funny. I have my next one. I have to look. I have to pull up because I have to read it.
Okay. Do you want me to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. While you're looking that up, I'm going to talk about. So, one of the ones that we got actually pretty commonly after we moved from the Class A motorhome to the van, and while we were, I guess once we were finished with the van, but we still had still had a lot of people that were used to seeing us in the motorhome, that were still following us when we moved to the van. And the one comment that we got so often that I just still don't understand was, but where do you eat? Because we didn't have a dining room table. We didn't have a dining room table. So how are you going to eat if you don't have a dining room table? I mean, like, we ate sitting in a chair on our laps more often than not.
Yeah.
Even when we had the Class A motorhome.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And we had a dining room table in that. We used the dining room table as storage, and we sat on the couch and used our laps as tables. But it was actually quite interesting and like honestly a little bit mind-boggling the number of comments that we got. But where do you eat?
But where do you eat?
It's like, but
you can't.
But like, where do I shower? Also, because we also didn't have a shower in the van.
So strange.
So that one was.
Like, what do you mean?
Like,
where do we eat? Well, you like fucking wherever we want to.
so
Like we could step
funny.
out. We could step outside and eat if we wanted to. Like.
Yeah, like I can hold a plate and eat at the same time. I can use my burrito forks, my hands.
Burrito forks.
My hands are my burrito forks. Yeah, that one was pretty funny. I'm putting it, but a quick one. Go for it.
Okay, I have this one. This one's a long.
Oh
one.
God, I see why you have. We're gonna be here for a while, guys.
I'm gonna save that one for a second because like I think the other one is like so. This one isn't like a specific comment, but it's like people who watch our videos more. So we've gotten the comments have gotten less hateful over the last like basically year. Whenever we were doing like travel vlogs and stuff like that was whenever we were getting a lot of like super hateful comments. And I think it was just because like people, I don't know if it was like jealousy or like, you know, they were hoping to see more drama out of the thing. Like, you know, we're not, you know,
we're not reality TV stars.
We're not reality TV stars. There's a few like, you know, hashtag, you know, like there's quote unquote hashtag van life couples who really dabble in like the, you know, they'll cry on camera and like we're not that kind of, that's not our gig.
I don't have a heart. I won't cry.
Yeah, we don't cry. we cry coal, which is like the same color as our hearts. But you know, so the comments have gotten less and less hateful over the last year since we've kind of like niched down into like just teaching people how to build DIY campers. But occasionally we'll still get the thing that it's something along. Let me pull that one up real quick. Sorry, I screenshotted this one yesterday. So okay, so this one was this guy Explorer's Life. I've been wiring both AC and DC wiring for about 60 years, and one of my major pet peeves is using the wrong language concerning set-in-stone physics, blah, 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 blah. And this is in regards to, like, you know, I said you wire the switch in line as opposed to you wire the switch at the end of a wire. Like, ultimately, like, it didn't fucking matter. And so, like, I didn't... And so we've gotten I do get a lot of those comments where somebody's like, I've been doing this for 60 years and why the fuck are you watching my videos if you've been doing this 60 years? Like all these are tutorial videos. Like is your life that boring that you don't have anything else to do? Other than like watch my tutorial videos, a lot of this stuff
and then pick them apart. Yes.
A lot of this stuff is 101 level electrical stuff. And like, yes, I say stuff that is technically incorrect for the sake of being able to teach this stuff. Because sometimes whenever you're trying to teach a subject, you have to say stuff in layman's terms. And sometimes layman's terms is is not technically correct. And so it's one of those things that is like if you're watching a video, if you've been doing this for 60 years, if you have that much knowledge over this thing, you should start your own YouTube channel and stop watching my YouTube channel, because I'm just going to delete your comment. Like, this, what is it? The First Amendment? Is that the freedom of speech? I think so. The First Amendment does not apply on the sovereign nation of our YouTube channel. I will delete your comment. Okay, I got more fired up than I probably should.
You got real fired up, and we're actually holding your microphone. Like, you were so fired up about that one.
Like, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Am my mic in a chokehold?
Basically, I was getting a little nervous for the microphone.
Drinks.
Okay. I'm going to actually... Wait, do you have any more? Because I'm going to switch gears and go to some wholesome comments.
Okay, do that, because my last one is just like fucking like way out there.
Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah. No, we've gotten some really, really great comments over the years.
We've gotten great comments.
And we've gotten some really good ones. Not just comments, but I actually had a woman email me back, I don't know, a year or so ago, and we exchanged emails, just a few emails, just talking about like the inspiration and, just the fact that we were able to give her that push to actually do this and travel on her own. She had lost her husband, and she wanted to do this for so long. And after us talking about our situation and losing Nate's dad, it gave her the push to actually just go out and do it and just live her life, So she and I exchanged emails a few times and talking about like just being able to actually do it. So that one was really, really great. And it just made me feel really good that we were able to push somebody to actually do that. And yeah, it really felt good.
We've gotten that comment a lot. Like, whenever somebody like wants to do stuff and like they've been motivated by what we've done to do that thing. That's super cool. There's one in particular that like stands out to me. This guy may actually be listening to our podcast because he watches like all of our other videos, but like guy with a screen name of Scott in Minnesota. Scott in Minnesota. He's got like, I think it's like 3 daughters. And like every time we put out a video of like, because on the Explore Us Live channel, it's like anytime there's a tutorial that we can do that's like a quick tutorial, you can open a new one. I'll drink it with you. We have an intermission real quick while we're drinking now.
I'm sorry, that one was about to be a really good comment.
It was.
But keep going.
I'll start over.
No, keep going. I'm just gonna pour.
Okay. What are we drinking though? What is that?
This is the cream ale.
Okay.
I'm not gonna drink the.
Yeah, that was okay.
I'm gonna drink that tonight at least.
Yeah.
I'll drink it, but not tonight.
So Scott in Minnesota, he's got like 3 daughters, and what are you doing?
You got a little bit left.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I just didn't want to mix your beers.
Appreciate that.
Okay, Scott in Minnesota. I'm sorry, Scott in Minnesota.
So he's got like 3 daughters, and whenever we do like tutorials and stuff like that like when it's a long tutorial, like a really involved process, like both of us will be in it. But if it's like that's just like because we're both like super working on it. But if it's like a really quick tutorial, like how to change an air filter or something like that, like that's a pretty like quick process, and so it's not worth having both of us in there like trying to do the thing. And so we like I would rather run the video and let Stephanie do the tutorial because she doesn't need my help doing the tutorial, and it's just better if I just run the camera. And so it like works out nice and neat. And so like he's commented like several times, it's like it's great seeing Stephanie do this, because he's like, I've been able to show my daughters that you can do this. You can do like mechanical work on a camper van. You can do all this like carpentry, and you can change your own air filters and oil filters and fuel filters, and you can learn about electrical stuff and all that kind of stuff. And he's been able to show that to show that to his daughters because of like what Stephanie's done. And it's like, that's super cool.
Yeah. I actually had that written down as well because we've gotten that
Did you?
comment from, of just women being able to work on their own vans, not just, not, and I love that. That's great from Scott. I really appreciate that. But also I've gotten it from women themselves who were scared to be able to like go out on the road on their own and not know anything about their vehicles. And we've been able to show them that, women can do this and women can work on their own. Like I've said many times before, my mom was an aircraft mechanic. And so I grew up around tools. I grew up around I grew up pretty much being mechanically inclined. And I was always interested in it. My mom was a single mom for a long time. I think she and my stepdad got married when I was like 10 or 11, but, to be completely honest, my stepdad was kind of useless around the house. My mom did everything, and I helped with everything mechanically and like around the house fixing stuff. And so, like, to me, it's always been very much, you do what you have to do. But it wasn't until I was, 25, 26 years old that I realized that most women didn't grow up that way.
Yeah.
Most women didn't have that experience where you kind of just had to. I was just in a situation where we had to figure it out on our own. We didn't have a man in our lives to do the mechanical stuff. So we had to do it ourselves. And I love being able to put that out there and show other women that they can do that. And young girls also, especially young girls, to be able to show them that you don't have to fit within this mold of society, and you can do this stuff on your own. You can run a table saw on your own.
Yeah.
You don't need a man to do that for you. You can, you can learn how to run a drill. You can do whatever. You can build a solar array.
You can accomplish anything with a long enough breaker bar.
That is that's deep, Nate. That's deep. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. So that's been that one has been an ongoing.
That's good.
That is really good.
Wow.
That's really good.
Cream ale. That's over there.
Yeah, it's over there. It's empty.
Are we still advertising?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Camber Brewing Cream Ale. Fantastic.
That's good. Fraser, Colorado.
But yeah, that one has been another not ongoing, but like recurring comment that we've gotten that is it just feels good. It's really nice to hear that.
Well, it's like, even though like I've been doing more of the videos and you haven't been in them, like I still get that comment. Like this morning I was able to like respond with, it's like, hey, I talked to Stephanie, and it's like, if people know who you are, like,
no, I'm the blonde lady.
Yeah, except for that one fucking guy.
For that guy.
I think you're the blonde lady. That blonde lady.
That blonde lady.
Yeah,
Random ass blonde lady.
No, it's great, and like I don't know, it's like there's enough. There's too many guys who. Yeah, it's just like society, I mean, you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah,
like,
I know where you're going with that.
It's like the mansplaining stuff, and like it's a problem. It's a really big fucking problem. And so it's like, I hope like getting, you don't need my help getting you out there to do this stuff, but it's like the more videos you can be in with like you doing this like mechanical work, it's like it's doing it.
It's and I love that stuff, and I hope when we move to Steamboat that I'll be able to do more of that stuff, and I hope everybody realizes that the reason that I'm not in the videos quite as often anymore is because I have my own business that
and it's
I
just
have to
crazy,
run. And so,
And she doesn't have time to do her own videos.
no.
That stresses her out to the max.
Yeah.
I've suggested that a few times. She's like, no,
No,
no, thank
videos
you.
stress me out so much. I really hate being in videos, but I love being in tutorials and teaching. I love that aspect, but I don't want to talk to the camera.
Yeah, it's like the few videos we've done recently has like been like pretty good because you've just been like a part of them, like you've been present in the video, like doing the stuff, but ultimately like letting me talk about it, and that's you've enjoyed it. Like that's been something you've actually liked.
Yeah, that's way more enjoyable to me than actually talking and scripting and stuff.
Yep.
That's stressful to me. But all right, so let's get to this last comment.
Are we ready for the last comment?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's good. This one is juicy.
Okay, so I'm going to read as long as I possibly can, and we're going to try to make this actually happen. I need a drink before I do this one.
This one is so good.
Okay.
I am so glad you screenshotted this one.
I've sent this to like probably like 5 different YouTubers, and they've all been like big YouTubers. No, I don't exactly expect a reply on all these, but they've all been like, "What the fuck?" Okay,
go for it.
So this one was on a video. Like I don't even remember. I feel like it was the van life must-haves. So the topic of the video that this was commented on was like, it was like, our like top 15 like roundup like products that we like. It's like wool shirts because they don't, you can wear them a few days in a row without them smelling. A collapsible tea kettle for heating up water and all this kind of stuff. So it was like, I mean, you get the vibe of like what this like video was about. And so YouTube user Central Intelligent. I've already fucked it up. Hang on a second. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna take a drink of water to wet the old whistle.
The username just cracks me up.
I can't even get through it. Okay, here we go. TM-CIA TM, like as in trademark.
Yeah, trademark in there twice.
Yeah,
double trademark.
Double trademark.
Because CIA is apparently trademarked.
Thanks for the advice and insight. It's funny how we can escape almost every aspect that drives us away from what people think is civilization, except for the need of money, and the stress that goes along with acquiring it. The mobile community must be its own government, much like governments, but on a global scale. Socio-financial class, etc., keeping up with monies within so that we can collectively fill those voids between expenses and profits with interspending assistances, ideas, etc., from the internal community and government. We are the future and average citizenry, and various organizations do not want to succeed because we are first existed at a time when all was right with the worlds.
Many worlds.
I've done so many things that have failed to produce income for various reasons, most attributably to the interventions of secret... Fuck. Okay, stand by. I've done so many things that have failed to produce income for various reasons. For various reasons, mostly attributable to the intervention of secret organizations that have always sought to stop me from amassing the income and power we need to stop them from destroying the omniverses. Would you let me talk?
I can't.
Let me know when you're done.
Okay. I'm good. Go for it.
I'm gonna mute you.
Sorry. The omniverses.
I've done so many things that have failed to produce income to the intervention of secret organizations that have always sought to stop me from amassing the income and power we need to stop them from destroying the omniverses that you wouldn't believe me. Moving forward from failure without skipping a beat is the most difficult thing to do after feeling unrecoverably spent. In my particular situation, being an Illuminati defense, intelligence, black operations, counterterrorism, security, teletransportation, existence protection, black projects, acquisitions, income, etc., black, gray, etc., agent, etc. There is the need for immediate income that may sustain me until sources such as those you've mentioned can be implemented. Bearing in mind that normal / the usual known streams of income are impossible for me to pursue. If there is a way for you to utilize me / us as the middleman in attaining income, etc., please reach out to me, since I am also on a search for ways to earn money, so that I may get my life together and acquire motorhomes as mobile bases. So this is
What? I never heard that last sentence.
This is Nate talking.
I need to talk. I have never made it through that enough to hear the last sentence. I need ideas for mobile income. What?
So that I may get my life together to acquire motorhomes as mobile bases.
Motorhomes.
I'm actually kind of
mini motorhomes.
like
for
I'm
his omniverse.
like straight up like nervous, kind of like reading this because like I'm afraid he's gonna watch the podcast, but maybe not.
I'm not afraid of this. I can do this.
I am prepared.
I am prepared.
So
No, I was not prepared for.
So there's, we occasionally get like comments that are just like obvious, like spam, like copy paste, like propaganda, like comments and stuff like that. But occasionally, like I read through the majority of this, and this is actually his second comment on a video. And the first one, like I read through the first like paragraph or so, like I'm like, this is spam. And then like I was reading through it a little bit and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like this is like, maybe he actually fucking typed this. Like, like, I don't know. I don't know if he actually typed this or like in a fit of bipolar. Like, I don't know like what the, okay. Can we proceed?
I don't know if I can proceed with my life after hearing that.
Okay, we're moving on.
I've never made it through that far. This is a first for me.
Okay, we're about a third of the way through.
Oh God, we're not done?
No, fuck no, we're not done. Look at all this shit. Okay, no, we're about halfway done, honestly. Okay, so hang in there, guys.
Okay, I can do this.
If I
might need to turn me down again.
If I can do this, you can do this. Okay, I've got my hand on your volume knob.
Thanks.
If you start scream laughing, I'll turn it down. Jenna Marble scream laughing. Okay. Where the fuck was that?
You were amassing motorhomes.
There was no punctuation, so like
Oh.
No, I mean, sorry, there was like commas, which actually like the punctuation as far as like commas and like periods was actually pretty good, but there's no like paragraphs or anything.
Oh, okay. It's different.
Amassing motorhomes as mobile bases. Okay. So I actually stopped halfway through a sentence. So that I can get my life together and acquire motorhomes as mobile bases, so I/we can save the worlds, etc., as has always been our purpose, necessity, etc. As I always say, and forgive me if I've said it on your channel before, because it's kind of lengthy, but necessary to get out to everyone, we put a lot over lions of millennia before we even created these universes into propagating, protecting, etc., the OHM trademark, Ossel Home Movement trademark, such as motorhomers trademark, as well as veganism trademark, naturalism trademark, etc. So thanks for allowing your soul to find its center here in the midst of what's always been the only way to nurture, protect, save, etc. the existence of all things good and making the sharing of your experiences part of your symbolic journeys. God created us to protect, etc.
Oh, you lost it.
Fuck.
Protect, etc. Etc.
I lost it. I'm sorry.
God created us to protect, etc.
God created us to protect and like fucking like whatever else we wanted to do, like free will and stuff.
It was the etc. the fuck was.
Okay, all right. Drink. Okay.
Oh man.
All right. So here we go. Where were we at?
God created us to protect,
Okay, yeah,
etc.
Okay. God created us to protect, etc. Its innards and outards, as that we have always done and always will. All things are
I'm
possible.
sorry, can you read that sentence again? Its innards and outwards? Like, God created us to
I was trying
protect
so
its
hard not to
innards?
laugh.
Ew. Like, this is getting gross at this point.
Okay, so
Okay. I need that sentence read one more time.
okay, God created us to protect, etc. Its innards and outards. And okay, so this Nate's back. God created us to protect, etc. Its innards. Okay, like innards, like that's a like we're from Oklahoma, like we know what innards are.
Yeah. The intestines.
Outards. Outtards. Like look at that shit. Do you see that? Outards.
Innards and outards. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Innards. If you've got innards, you've got to have outards.
That's a good point. Like your
Yeah.
like your
Antonyms.
like your belly button.
Wow, I said that weird.
You got your earlobes. You got your belly button. It's your outards. Okay, I'm back on the Stephanie scream laughing volume mic.
Okay, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good.
God created us to protect, etc., its innards and outards, and that we have always done and always will. Quote, all things are possible through love and benevolence, end quote, trademark. If any of you ever decide to give away, etc., your motorhomes, lands, etc., we can use the extra vehicles, bases of operation, etc., in our struggles to save existence, etc. If any of you ever have ways if any of you ever have ways for me to earn money, that I'm in the position to do so at the time, please utilize my talents / refer me so that I can get into the monetary / societal / political, etc. positions to save the omniverses. These and their worlds, etc. I also need places to park.
I mean, he's pretty fucking practical, to be honest.
Yeah, in all honesty, like that's a fucking issue.
I do need places to park.
I haven't got this far in.
I need to save the world, but I gotta park somewhere.
I have to find somewhere to park.
I need to save the innards and the outer.
Guys, see, this is like what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like it wasn't copy paste. Like, I think this is like actually a heartfelt message, and like, I hope he doesn't listen to our podcast. In all honesty, because I would worry about that. Okay, moving on. But
If he does, I hope he doesn't know where we live.
I also need places to park that I can work at / work online from. We are the originators of bartering, gifting, etc., not of the malevolent. What the fuck word is that?
Malevolence.
Malevolence. Not of the malevolence, which has become known as money. So that we can work something out if you need reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity. Wow. So if you need reciprocity for that you need money for, but which I may not have the money for to spend for. Happy holidays and be safe out there. Sincerely. Okay, sorry, I'm going to reread that last sentence for drinks first. Hang on a second.
Okay. For dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're an hour and 15 into this podcast. You didn't think this podcast was going to be long enough.
I didn't. No, I was like, what else can we do? Okay.
Apparently, read this comment would have taken the whole podcast, but moving on.
For which you need money for, but which I may not have money to spend for. Happy holidays and be safe out there. Sincerely, trademark, classified / secret of the Illuminati. AI, Anakui, Illuminati. CIA, Central Internal Agency. CEA, Central External Agency. CEA, Central External Agency. CIA, Central Interagency. CIA, Central Illuminati Agency. CEA, Central Extelligence Agency. NSA, National SIM Agency. EIA, External Intelligence Agency, EIA Extra Internal Agency, ESA Extra Security Agency, TR3B Tactical Reconnaissance 3 Bureau, DIA-SBPORA Defense Intelligence Acquisitions Special Black Projects Operations Re-Income Agency, EIA Every Intelligence Agency, EIA Every Interagency, ESA Every Security Agency, MJ12 Majestic Joint 12, etc. Hierarchies. All the Raikasu, Akaden for totality, all bond, band, assembly, etc. that exists as we Akar, in Indonesian for source, etc. The essential intelligence thereof, etc. We created ourselves for love, and since all is we, the omniverses, these innards, and that we call the God, which you are here, beloved, for nothing else is acceptable. Trademark. The AIR, the Anakui, Illuminati, Rakusu.
Wow.
Guys, like I am like that is the most impressive comment we have ever gotten, and I'm terrified in all honesty.
Yeah, I think we're probably targeted for some kind of ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If we don't post next week, guys, somebody come for us. Yeah. Come find us, help us. But I just have to go into this what
if
he has CIA on here 3 times, all trademarked. CIA trademarked, CIA trademarked, CIA trademarked.
And they all stand for different things.
And they all stand for different things. I don't think he understands what trademark means.
Buddy, I think your trademark is not a thing.
Yeah, because he's got Central Internal Agency, Central Interagency, and Central Illuminati Agency, all CIA, which the actual CIA is Central Intelligence Agency, in case any of you weren't familiar with the actual CIA.
I wonder what the fuck is up with the central intra-agency.
Well, there's an interagency and there's also an extra agency.
Yeah, I know.
And there's an external agency and there's an extral. I don't know what that word means.
I wonder
what does extral mean? Extral intelligence. I thought you were saying extra intelligence, but no, it's extral intelligence agency. Extral interagency, extral security agency. This
I wonder what
is stressing me out.
I wonder what his beef is with the intra agency. Maybe there's some kind of
there's an inter and an exter, but not an intra.
Intra, that's a big deal. Intra, all the different agencies have to communicate amongst themselves. And
I don't know that I want to make fun of this guy because this.
Okay, I think we're gonna call it quits. I think.
Yeah, but that one was definitely. I honestly had never read that comment in full. I skimmed it and then I read the.
If that guy is reaching out, this is a purely entertainment kind of thing, and if we have any ways of helping you in your quest for saving
a parking space,
saving the world / a parking space, etc. We will if you're listening to this podcast, it was all in good fun, and we'll reach out. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's good pitch. That is actually one of the better pitches that we've ever gotten. Yep. Okay. Cool. Is that it?
I think that's all. I think that's all I have the capacity for.
Okay.
And I didn't think this podcast would be long enough, but we're almost
almost 120, and so we're gonna call it quits. We're gonna finish these beers with that pizza that we have over there, and then we are going to go get in the hot tub, and we are going to finish out your birthday strong.
Birthday in the hot tub.
Thanks everybody for watching, and we will be back next week with another podcast. Another podcast, and we
gotta get a podcast.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.